On the 13th of September 2022, William Ruto was inaugurated as the 5th president of Kenya. Just 5 days after he was sworn in, he flew to the United Kingdom to attend the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. This was his first official foreign trip as president. 2 days later, he got on board a KQ Dreamliner and flew all the way to New York, United States, for the 77th United Nations General Assembly, where he made his debut speech as a head of state. After he returned home on the 25th of September, 2 weeks later he was out of the country. This time he was in neighboring Ethiopia, where he oversaw the launch of Safaricom Ethiopia, a subsidiary of Safaricom, which is Kenya's largest telecommunications company. 2 days after that, he flew to neighboring Uganda, where he attended the country's 60th anniversary celebrations. The next day, he was in Tanzania for a state visit, where he held bilateral trade and infrastructure discussions with President Samia. He promised the construction of a gas pipeline from Dar to Mombasa and all the way to Nairobi. But 4 years later, nothing of such has yet happened. In the first week of November, he flew to Egypt to attend a UN summit on climate change. 2 weeks later, he was off to the Congo, where he held discussions with President Tshisekedi about the deployment of Kenyan troops in the Kivu region. A day later, he flew to South Korea for a 3-day state visit, which marked his first trip to Asia as president. He concluded the year by making 2 more foreign trips. One was in Eritrea, where the 2 governments agreed to abolish visa requirements for their citizens. The other one was back in the United States, where he attended the US-Africa Leaders Summit. In 2023 and in 2024, Ruto heightened his foreign trips, averaging 3 to 4 trips per month. He spent most of his time traveling to Europe, Asia, and within Africa, attending summits that centered on climate change, trade, global finance, investments, and relations. A year before he became president, Ruto traveled across Kenya campaigning on the bottom-up narrative, which he described as the uplifting of the social-economic status of the majority poor. He promised to execute the agenda by cutting down on borrowing, cracking down on corruption, creating 4 million jobs per annum, creating a favorable tax environment, and access to low-interest loans. By 2024, the public debt had risen from 8.6 trillion in 2022 to 10.56 trillion. The unemployment rate had jumped from 5.4 to 5.7%. That's over 3 million unemployed people. The tax authority had become a bully to small businesses. Access to low-interest loans was non-existent, and the corruption scandals were piling up. Ruto's unkept promises eventually led to a fallout between him and Kenyans, especially those who had voted for him. Criticism towards his governance would later boil down to his many extravagant foreign trips, earning him another nickname to his many list of nicknames as the Flying President. He shares the title with Nigeria's Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In May 2024, during a 4-day state visit to the United States, President Ruto was criticized for allegedly spending over 200 million shillings to charter a Boeing business jet for his round trip. Some Kenyans accused him of hypocrisy because he was the same man who was telling Kenyans to live within their means while using taxpayers' money to fly in opulence. Ruto defended himself by stating that the actual cost of hiring the plane was less than 10 million shillings. That was about less than $75,000 at the time. And talking about flying in opulence, the president has been seen using the world's finest airplanes. During his first 2.5 years in office, he used the official Kenyan presidential plane, the Fokker 70, for regional trips. In places like Asia and America, he flew commercial on Kenya Airways or on other foreign carriers. He later abandoned the 30-year-old Fokker 70 because of its recurring mechanical problems, which prompted him to charter aircraft. The airplanes he has been using are as follows: a Boeing 737 that he used during his state visit to the United States, a Gulfstream 5 that he was seen using during a visit to Ethiopia in 2025, a Boeing 737-8DV, which he used during his recently concluded tour to Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan. The cost of hiring these planes isn't cheap. A Boeing 737, for example, will cost you about $12,000 to $22,000 per flight hour. That is about 1 to 3 million Kenyan shillings per hour. But the good thing for the president is that he doesn't care where the money will come from. To him, that is the job of the tax-paying Kenyans. When confronted about his many foreign trips, Ruto has consistently defended himself by saying that these trips are good for Kenya, maintaining that his globe-trotting secures lucrative job opportunities and billions of shillings in international investment deals. But when we look in hindsight view, the economic state of the nation has worsened since he came into office. Any serious foreign trip that Ruto has made during his presidency so far has involved him flying to Europe or to Asia to borrow money or to negotiate repayments of loans. But to be fair to him, his trip to Germany in 2024 enabled him to secure 250,000 jobs for Kenyans. This was after the deadly finance bill protests that brought his government to its knees. And an interesting fact is that during the height of the protests in late June and the whole month of July, he never flew outside the country. He would return to the skies 58 days later. Meanwhile, the rest of his trips have been nothing but leisure activities. During Kibaki's decade in power, he traveled abroad 33 times. Uhuru made 151 trips during his 10 years in office. For the 3.5 years Ruto has been in power, he has made approximately 96 foreign trips, and before the end of his 5-year term next year, he is expected to make a total of 180 trips.